Jason Palmer, one of the hosts of The Intelligence, The Economist's daily current affairs podcast. The Economist's award-winning shows make sense of what matters, from our special series on China's president to our weekly podcasts on business, technology, and American politics. Our journalists provide fair, in-depth reporting on the events shaping the world. To get the annual plan for less than $2.50 per month, search for Economist Podcasts Plus to start listening today.
This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 2615, Getting My Wife on Board with the F.I.R.E. Lifestyle by Joel with budgetsaresexy.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. I'll keep this intro nice and short, so let's get right to it as we optimize your life. Getting My Wife on Board with the F.I.R.E. Lifestyle by Joel with budgetsaresexy.com. It's a common question in the personal finance community. How can I get my partner on board with financial independence? Tough to answer because everyone's relationship is a little different. But the more we all share our stories and ideas, the more we can help others develop stronger financial plans with their partners. So today, I'm going to share some of my personal stories, and I want to hear yours too. Getting my wife on board with F.I.R.E. First, it's a bit unfair to say I brought her on board with F.I.R.E. because the truth is my wife and I built our financial plan together. Even though I was responsible for 95% of the technical details and spreadsheet stuff, it's our plan, our journey, and our life. I didn't realize this until years into our relationship. The biggest mental step I took in getting my wife on board was to deboard my own boat first. Like getting off my single kayak before jumping into a double kayak. The beginning, our first finance conversation. About 9 years ago, my wife, then girlfriend, had just graduated from college. She ran home one day and announced, "I got a job." Since I was an idiot back then with tunnel vision, still am today sometimes, I ruined the mood immediately by hounding her with a series of money questions. How much are they going to pay you? What benefits do they offer? 401k? Think we can afford a house soon? To me, this was important stuff. We lived in Hawaii after all, and things ain't so cheap out there. My poor girlfriend started hyperventilating. We were on completely different pages financially. This was her first full-time job out of college, and she hadn't thought about all the grown-up stuff that I had been dealing with for years. After a nice long fight and avoiding the topic for a few weeks, we finally sat down and talked about where we went wrong. I learned these lessons pretty quickly. Number 1, if she's excited about something, I should get excited about it too. Extinguishing her enthusiasm only teaches her to extinguish my enthusiasm in return. She will never be excited about money if I don't show excitement about the things that are important to her. Number 2, I learned that our financial journey would be a long road. No sense in rushing things or pushing her into conversations she wasn't ready for. We had the rest of our lives together to figure it all out. Aw, how sweet. And number 3, I started to recognize that she could teach me things too. She's incredibly savvy, and I needed to be more like her in more ways. Stronger as a team. As we kept dating, I started to realize that my girlfriend kicked ass in areas that I was never good at. She was very thrifty, always good at negotiating, and passionate about sustainability. She taught me how to reduce, reuse, recycle, and help curb some of my dumb spending habits. The more I appreciated and learned about her cool strengths, the more she took an interest in mine. We found that teamwork makes us so much stronger than working as individuals. I would ask her, "Hey, can you help me find a good deal on a surfboard?" She would save me hundreds of dollars in bargaining. In return, she would ask me things like, "Hey, can you help me with my tax return?" Or, "What is a Roth IRA? Should I set one up?" Admitting our weaknesses to each other bonded us tighter. We learned that coming from different financial backgrounds wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing because we each had our own financial strengths. Celebrating the first of every month, passive paychecks. My career was in sales, So I used to get paid monthly commission checks, some small, some big. My wife and I would always go out and celebrate when a big paycheck came in. This is common. Many people celebrate work paydays. But for me, it always felt bittersweet. On the one hand, I always want to celebrate when money comes into my life. But on the other hand, the blood, sweat, and tears behind each paycheck was slowly killing me. Whenever we celebrated a payday, I couldn't help but feel sad about the hundreds or thousands of non-refundable hours of my life I traded to earn that money. So a few years ago, we made a change. I bought a small rental property in Texas in 2015. When the first rent check came in, we yielded a few $100s in profit. Not a huge amount, but the fact that we didn't have to work for it was awesome. The next month brought in another rent check, and the next month, and the next, etc. Soon enough, my wife and I started to celebrate the first of every month. Monthly celebrations brought several benefits. Number one, my wife got more excited about passive income instead of earned income. She saw firsthand the power of income-producing assets. She wanted more of them. Number two, it got us talking about money more regularly. Every month, we check in with each other, make sure we're still happy with our plans, and modify anything if needed. And number three, celebration became a regular part of our life. Whether we have a good month or a bad month, money is always a positive topic and celebrated in our household. A big aha moment for my wife. One day, my wife and I were talking about her work. She was a part-time substitute teacher back then, considering moving to a full-time position. I didn't want to push her to work more if she didn't want to, but at the same time, I was very excited about the extra potential income. Any extra income from her would go straight into our investments and make a huge difference for us later in life. Since my wife isn't really money motivated, I needed a way to encourage her to work without saying it's for money. So I eventually blurted out a statement that was a defining moment in our relationship. I said, for every week that you work now, you're shaving 2 weeks off of us having to work later in life. Something just clicked when I said that. Just the thought of her being able to buy us time together later in life was a big motivator for her. She doesn't care about the money. Her motivation has always been about time. Still figuring it all out. It's been a fun journey, but it's far from over. My wife and I don't have kids yet, don't know when we'll officially be F.I.R.E. or even which city we want to live in when we're older. Our money discussions and decisions will continue until we die. But the hard part is mostly over, and I'm lucky to have such a patient and dedicated partner in life. For those out there struggling to talk with their partner about finances, keep searching for ways to break through and get on the same page. The more we all share our stories, the more we can help each other get to better places in our relationships. You just listened to the post titled, Getting My Wife on Board with the F.I.R.E. Lifestyle by Joel with budgetsaresexy.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary. Something always comes up when you're running a small business. Any business owner will tell you that. Running a business is just plain hard. Endless to-do lists, employees to take care of, and your ever-present bottom line. So if you're a small business owner, kudos to you for staying on top of it. And now I have a solution for you. I want to tell you about Gusto. Gusto built an easier and more affordable way to manage payroll, benefits, and more. They help over 300,000 businesses by taking the pain out of tasks like automated payroll tax filing, direct deposit, health insurance administration, 401k, onboarding tools. You name it, Gusto makes it easy. And they really care about the small business owners they work with. Their support team is attentive and helpful. And since money can be tight right now, you'll even get 3 months free. Just go to gusto.com/OFD and start setting up your business today. You'll see what I mean when I say easy. Again, that's 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/OFD. This article reminded me of a pretty vulnerable conversation I had with my Midwestern gentleman about 6 months ago. I retired from my corporate career 3 years ago, and I'm pretty ingrained in the F.I.R.E. movement. He went with me to my first F.I.R.E. event, Camp Mustache, outside of Seattle back in 2019. It was right before our 1-year dating anniversary. He's been by my side the entire time I've built up the Economy Conference, which is the largest gathering of FIRE enthusiasts in the world. He has come with me to a few local Choose FI meetups where we do case studies and nerd out on each other's finances. And after all that, he's just not into it. He is very financially responsible, and he's proud of how much progress we've made financially as a couple. But he felt like being around FIRE people too much made him feel like he should hate his job and want to quit. And that influenced him. He found himself becoming more discontent with work. But his situation is unique. He's helped run a family business for 20 years. He has an incredible opportunity to operate like a business owner without taking on any personal financial risk. So he started hanging out with more entrepreneurs, and his attitude shifted again. Now he's being influenced by people who make him feel good about the opportunity in front of him. I have no need for my partner to align perfectly with my relationship to money and work. He's his own person, and I think being a good partner to him involves me being as supportive of his interests and ambitions as he is of mine. And that'll do it for today and another installment of Optimal Finance Daily. Have a happy Thursday. Thank you for being here every day and listening. And I'll see you on the Friday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.